Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the American Dynasty League, where we're still working on an intro. With me, as always, is Math Boy, Alan Henley, and the commish, Clyde Randall Waters.
Good job on the name this week, sir.
You're welcome. I'm learning it. You've been here around. We're keeping you around, so I gotta learn the names. We're going to start this week off as we start every week off looking at last week's Mama Matchup of the Week.
Mama Matchup of the Week.
All right. Last week's Mama Matchup of the Week was some brother-on-brother action. Some sibling rivalry. Commish, why don't you explain who beat who, and then we'll go to Math Boy for some numbers.
Well, it was the Red Squirrels versus the Winterfell Direwolves.
Rawr.
And in this matchup, the Winterfell Direwolves took down the Red Squirrels.
Yeah.
116 to 86. Let's see, what's notable about this matchup of the week? Well, not only did the Winterfell Direwolves put up more points, but they also outdid their brother in the efficiency rating scale, 86.7% to an 82.9% scale. Let's see here, though. However, if they both had started their optimal team, meaning 100% efficiency, Direwolves still was going to win this game with a potential 133 points to only a potential 104 points. Direwolves had a shaky start this season, but it looks like they're shaping into somewhat of a strong team that may have the ability to take a run here. I also noticed they did do the lucky start a zero player with J.J. Nelson putting up 0 points. But that's all right because they had top scores from Odell Beckham. Duke Johnson came to play this week. Devonta Freeman being Devonta Freeman. Jameis Winston put up 18 points even though he had 3 interceptions. That defense, though. Bucs defense, -5. Ooh. But Red Squirrels also had a -5 defense with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see here. The best thing the Squirrels had going for them was Aaron Rodgers. 23 points, which is great score. However, he's playing the Bengals. You would have thought there would have been a little bit more points out of him this week.
I would have thought a true Bengals fan wouldn't have started him, but...
You know. I mean, what's scary is the points that are left on the bench by the Red Squirrels. Blake Bortles with 35 points. Jared Goff with 29 points.
Now, if you had Aaron Rodgers, and then your backups were Blake Bortles and Jared Goff, would you not have started Aaron Rodgers and thinking that he would outscore both of them combined by chance?
Right. You're right. But let's really look at this from a fantasy perspective.
I mean, it is.
Aaron Rodgers is playing the Bengals, the only team he's never beaten.
Fair enough.
Blake Bortles is going to London, where he is undefeated. He's like 4-0 in London now.
But he plays for Jacksonville, and he's playing the best defense in the league by chance.
Look,
Best
he
defense.
sees London,
Best
he
defense.
sees France. He makes the opponent show their underpants.
Anyways, you're right, though. I mean, the general rule of thumb is start your studs.
I agree.
Who is to know? Blake
I think
Bortles?
another interesting thing here is that he, even if the Red Squirrels started their optimal lineup and the Winterfell Direwolves kept their lineup the way it is, they still came up short.
They still can't.
There's only 104 points they could have gotten. So
Ooh.
it was a rough week for the Red Squirrels.
Got a feeling it's going to be a rough season.
$30 or so on Joe Mixon, that'll do it to you. And
Oh.
$16 on that one wide receiver. He told everybody it was his final amount of money.
All right, Math Boy. Let's take a look here at some other notable matchups. Why don't you pick the next one?
Well, I was going to throw out this one. Mud Dogs versus Big Ben's Love Child.
That's where I was going to go.
Of course. I mean, this matchup had it all. It took you down to the wire. It was almost a close shave. Big Ben's Love Child, though, comes out on top, 179 .98 to a score of 174.96. Whoo, that's big money scores right there.
Big money scores. And I think a little bit of this has to do with the embarrassment and shame of the name change.
I think so.
You know, he got embarrassed last week by the Direwolves. Direwolves beat him, turning out to be a great team. And, you know, I think you see this team wake up a little bit, realizing that they need to get it going. Their name sucks, but they got to win.
I like to think that maybe this is like finally Jack can be like, hey, everyone truly understands now that I really am a Steelers fan. And I'm going to embrace this name change because I am in love with Big Ben. And I'm going to go all out. I think that's kind of what happened here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think
Big Ben's love child, if you want to get your daddy on the team, I'm up for trade offers. I mean, you got Mr. Phillip Rivers here putting up 2 points.
I know.
Like 5,000 interceptions.
2 points. That's his only QB, too.
Just saying.
Now,
I'm up. I'll get you your daddy back.
One quick interesting fact about this before we leave it. Big Ben's love child had a 99.6% efficiency rating.
Ooh.
That one player could have been started different. If you took out LaShawn McCoy and put in the old guy, Brandon Marshall, you would have had a 100% efficiency rating.
Whew.
But 99.6 does plenty.
And I feel like he had a high efficiency rating last year. I need to take a note of this. I think we should calculate overall efficiency at the end of the season and see who comes out on top.
We should. And I don't know if we can really truly say how efficient he was last year. Because the league didn't exist.
Did not exist.
I meant last week.
Last week? Oh, I apologize.
I caught that too.
The Mud Dogs, on the other hand, put up 174 points with only 87% efficiency. Math boy, I'm not positive because I'm not a mathematician, but that number seems low.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's really not that low when you look at some of these other efficiency ratings around the league. But in this matchup, it cost them. If they would have had a 100% efficiency rating, almost impossible to do, they would have ended up with 200.4 points.
Woo!
That's a lot of points. And, start Kirk Cousins over, Matthew Stafford. They went with C.J. Anderson again, who somehow got 30 points last week. Not this week. And she has 2 kickers on the roster. Start Jake Elliott. He's a stud.
All right, let's move on to our Dynasty Quick Hits. This week we're talking about college draft picks. What are they? Can I trade my picks? And the answer is a college draft pick is a draft pick that you will have for when we do the college draft later this year. And yes, you can trade them. So later this year, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to draft any eligible college player. And we're going to be doing that based on the results of this year's league. So the winner of the Toilet Bowl, which is the winner of the loser's bracket, will get to be the first pick in what we call the college draft. Some call it a developmental draft, just in case you hear that weird word. And then from after that first pick, we go in reverse order of standings for the league, and it's a snake draft, more of a traditional draft. You'll get 4 college picks a year, and you can store up to 12 players on your college draft taxi squad. Am I wrong? Is it 15? It's 15. I apologize. 15. It's 15. It's been up.
It was 12 in previous.
Yes. In previous leagues, it was 12. Now it is 15. So you can trade future draft picks or this year's draft picks in order to try to get better talent. So if you have a team that's struggling, like the Schwitty Morgan Merriman Jensen's, or the Farty McFart Faces, who did pull off a win this week that I did predict.
Or the Black Stags.
The Black Stags. And you don't think any of your talent is very tradable now, you can always go, you know what? I'll trade you this guy and a college pick from this year and a college pick from next year. Either my first, my second round, third round, whatever you want to do. And you can trade those around to try to get better players now if you think you're just a player or two away from making a run. If you think you're going to have a hard time this season, want to try to collect picks, you can try to trade away some of what you have now to get picks. That is the college draft. If you have questions, as always, reach out to me, Mike, the commish, Clyde Randall Waters, or Math Boy, Alan Henley, and we'll answer any questions you have. Thank you. I've been using my hands a lot. All right, next up, we're going to move into our awards of the week. Starting with the Hershey Milk Dud of the Week. This one goes out to the player who was just a big dud. Just sticks in your teeth like a milk dud. Man, that performance was gooey and bad. Just nasty. All right, and that one is going out to who, Commish?
Well, we're going to throw this out to tight ends this week. Why? Because we had two tight ends, prominent tight ends that are fairly favored in this league, put up goose eggs. That's right. One was Hunter Henry, started by the Black Stags, no points. And Jordan Reed, started by Mama's Boys, with no points.
Now, you could argue that this Jordan Reed one a little worse. He wasn't even playing this week. He was still in the lineup. At least Hunter Henry had a shot.
All right. Either way, poor tight end play all around. So that's the duds this week. Tight ends.
All right, now let's take a look at our Ram Pickup of the Week. Brought to you by Ram. They're really tough and strong trucks. And the commish, Clyde Randall Waters, drives one.
I do. Ram tough.
All right.
Ford's better.
Math Boy, who's getting this one?
So, through all of my looking, we had one eligible player to receive this award this week.
Oh.
It was a kicker. Ryan Scope. Scoop. Scored 16 points this week, which is a lot for a kicker. That's a great week for a kicker.
That is.
For Harry Berries. So, good pickup. Everybody else, find a waiver wire. If you're going to use the waiver wire, think about starting the person you pick up. There's not a lot going on right now. Maybe there's no players, but...
I don't know. What's been happening is the Black Stags have been picking up some of the hot picks and then benching them. Because
yes, that is the other thing.
Picking up the hot stud is definitely a good start. If you're not familiar with Dynasty...
Step one, I'd say.
That is a very important step, is getting those hot guys and putting them on your team. The second step is to start them.
I could argue the second step.
Next up, we're going on to the whooping of the week, brought to you by Mike's Bodega.
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 He got a back scratch from Mike's Bodega, and it changed his life.
It did.
That is factually correct. We got a new shipment of Pop-Tarts coming in this week.
Oh,
buddy.
All right. Commish, who is getting this one?
All right, the whooping of the week award goes
This
to...
is amazing.
None other than the Farty McFartface. Their win over the Red Squirrels.
Congratulations.
They whooped them 162 to 86.
Man.
It was a 75-point win, almost a discount double up.
Well, almost. He wanted it after getting doubled up last week. You could tell.
That was a big turnout for Farty McFartface. Glad to see the team has become somewhat competitive.
Yeah. All right, next up we got the Resurrected Team of the Week, brought to you by Lazarus Department Stores. And this one is going out to Farty McFartface as well, with a 79-point turnaround from last week, and he won by 75 points. Coincidence? I think not. Right, Math Boy?
I don't know. We'll find out this week.
All right, now, for the Poopery Poo-Poo Team of the Week, this one is going out to who?
This one.
What? Did this really happen? Oh, yeah.
Did I do that thing?
So, the Poopery Team of the Week goes out to me. The Black Stags. Only putting up 76.56 points. However, though, I want to note the Schmitty Wergen Jensen
There you go.
was really close to winning this award this week. However, I one-upped him, and I get to take home this lovely plush poo pillow.
All right. Next up, we got the surprise player of the week. This goes to our breakout player. Remember, let your players break out, not your face. Brought to you by Proactive. Math Boy, who's getting this one?
This week, the proactive player of the week goes to the rookie, Christian McCaffrey.
Ooh.
I feel like you're talking really slow all of a sudden.
I am talking slow because his team is terrible. The Panthers have been miserable, and then Kelvin Benjamin goes down, but none other than Christian McCaffrey was there to save him this week. And he got a lot of points.
Man, he's the only offense they have.
He's literally the only person they have, and surprisingly, that happened. So he got a lot of points.
All right, congratulations, Christian McCaffrey. Next up, we're taking a look at this week's Mama Matchup of the Week.
Mama Matchup of the Week.
This week it is the Mud Dogs versus the Subliminal Criminals. That's fun to say. Subliminal Criminals. All right, Math Boy, break this one down for me.
Sure thing. So, we have the highest scoring team in the league facing the undefeated team in the league. It's going to be something that has to break here. Somebody's going to lose. Somebody's going to win. Really, I think it comes down to running back play.
You really go down on a ledge with that whole one's going to win, one's going to lose
I know.
thing.
Look, math. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's schooling.
I think this
That's
comes down
fine
to
University of Cincinnati education right there.
It's a great place. You should go. I think this comes down to running back play. Subliminal Criminals has really, really weak running backs. And if he can't figure that out, he's probably not going to win this one. He needs high scores from everybody this week because the Mud Dogs are not slowing down like I am.
They are not. The Mud Dogs are looking solid this week. Their running back core is there. Kareem Hunt leading the pack. Hasn't slowed down at all since week one. Dalvin Cook finding his stride here in the NFL. And C.J. Anderson finally becoming productive. We'll see if that stays the path for C.J. Anderson. But, then you look at the receiving core, Brandon Cooks, A.J. Green, Jarvis Landry, and a decent tight end, Delaney Walker. And this team really has it all. Like you said, Subliminal Criminals, their biggest fault is that running back core. We'll see what happens. I think it could be a close one.
All right, and with that, we'll get our picks for this in. Who are you taking, Commish?
I'm taking the Mud Dogs.
Math Boy.
Rude. Criminals.
I'm taking the Mud Dogs as well.
Haters.
All right, now it's time for the 2-minute drill. 2-minute drill. All right, we're going to plow through these guys. Lickety split. We got the Criminals versus the Red Squirrels. Commish.
Criminals.
Math Boy.
Criminals.
I'm taking the Criminals as well. That is a sweep. Next up, we got the Harry Berries versus the Swinny Morgan Mammerman Vengeance. Boy.
Harry Berries.
Commish.
Harry Berries.
And we're sweeping it. I'm taking the Harry Berries.
Sweep.
Next, we got the Fast and the Furious versus the Black Stags. Commish.
I'm taking the Fast and Furious.
Commish. Oh, Math Boy.
Fast and Furious.
I'm taking Fast and Furious too, which makes that one a sweep.
Sweep it again.
Next up, we have Big Ben's Love Child versus the Mama's Boy, Math Boy.
Big Ben's Love Child.
Commish.
Big Ben's Love Child.
Big Ben's Love Child as well, and that makes this a sweep. Next, we got the Harrison Bullfrogs versus the Farty McFart Faces, Math Boy.
Bullfrogs.
Commish.
Farty McFart Faces?
I'm taking Farty McFart Faces too.
Bold.
All right, next up, we got the Winterfell Direwolves versus the Mud Dogs, Math Boy.
Mud Dogs.
Commish.
Mud Dogs.
I'm taking myself. I always take myself. Next up, we got the Red Squirrels versus the Harry Berries. We got some spousal abuse going to happen tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Or this week, I should say. Math Boy, who you taking?
Harry Berries. Sorry.
Commish.
Harry Berries.
I'm taking Harry Berries too. That makes this a sweep. I think Allison is going to beat her husband.
Badly.
All right, we got the Schmitty Forgan Vengervimp versus the Black Stags, Math Boy.
Stags.
Commish.
I believe in you.
I do too. Stags.
I'm going with the Stag too. That makes that one a sweep. Next up, we got Big Ben's Love Child versus the Fast and the Furious, Commish.
Big Ben's Love Child.
Math Boy.
After that, I have to go Big Ben's Love Child.
I'm going Fast and the Furious. I believe in you, Terry. Next up, we got Mama's Boys versus Farty McFartface. Commish.
I'm going Farty McFartface.
All
Don't sound
right.
confident there.
Math Boy.
I'm going Mama's Boys.
I'm going Mama's Boys as well. Last but not least, we got the Harrison Bullfrogs versus the Winterfell Direwolves. Statman, who you taking? Oh, he's not here. Commish.
The Bullfrogs.
Math Boy.
Did you see him?
Math Boy, who you taking?
I'm taking the Bullfrogs.
I'm taking myself. I always take myself. And that was our 2-minute drill. A little bit longer with the doubleheader, but not too bad. Next up, we're moving into the question of the week.
Well, last week we asked a question out to the league here, and that was, which franchise will be the last in getting their first win in the league? We had 2 votes for the Farty McFartfaces, 3 votes for the Schmitty Werger Mega Jansons, and 4 votes for Mama's Boys. 9 total votes. Still not everyone in the league participating, but we're getting there. Thought it was interesting here. Farty McFartfaces did get their win. Mama's Boys did get their win. The Schmitty Werben Jagerman Jensens have not got that elusive first win yet. Which takes me into this week's poll question. We currently have, in the red division, the Subliminal Criminals, who are 4-0. And in the blue division, we have the Schmitty Werben Jagerman Jensens, who are 0-4.
Schmitty Bergen Weger.
He was number 1.
My question to you is, who do you think has the better chance of going the season with a perfect record? Meaning, the Schmitty Jaeger Wergerman Jensens going winless this season, and the Subliminal Criminals going undefeated and lossless this season.
That is a tough question.
That is a tough question.
And we shall see what you people say next week. Remember, answer the question, get your picks in. It's a great thing to be in this league. I love America, and I love everyone in the American Dynasty League. Have a fun week, and be safe out there, people. It's a crazy world.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Eat chips.